things together and emailing me back and forth, different trips back and forth to Harrisburg, and tried to give him some guidance on it. And he did a remarkable job for Saturday morning, 2 weeks before Christmas. I'm glad that we were able to bring this together on a Saturday morning to come together and a few weeks after the election, while there's still some spunk and some ambition going, to air out some ideas that we might have concerning education, healthcare, and just general needs of our community. As I said with the news people this morning, I'm very optimistic from the federal level. As I pointed out, we have 2 great senators from this area that work very well with us. And I was a big Obama supporter from the start. I continue to be very optimistic of the things that he's been putting forth. And as I told people while he was campaigning, they were hesitant to vote for him, and they said they didn't think he was skilled, or he didn't have the polish, or he didn't have this or that, and I think he proved them wrong already. But I look for more dynamic things to come from him. One example I point to is, and I did from the start, I said, I have a feeling the guy's going to surround himself with some great people. Not that they would be yes people or somebody that would side with him all the time, and I think he's definitely proven that aspect to be true. As President Kennedy did, he always and often sought people that differed with him. I think in my own trials and tribulations, for lack of a better word, I guess, I try to do the same. I try to get as much information and opposing views on different situations, and come together with some good minds like flow, and come up with the best solution for things for the district and for the region as a whole. I'm optimistic in the, I compared Obama to FDR. I said I'm very optimistic with the, with not only the bailout, but the things that he's putting forth for education, for healthcare, as well as for rebuilding our bridges, roads, schools. You look at any number of buildings in our region here. Gary Harkins just arrived. We could all acknowledge Gary. There's a spot up there for Gary. If we look at the structures in our districts, the schools, even some of the newer ones that I've toured in my own district are very much in need of repair. The dollars aren't there. They aren't coming from the state, and they aren't coming from the federal government. I think we need to break down a lot of the barriers that we have. There's a lot of mistrust, there's a lot of disconnect from the local government into the state and federal government. There is some communication, but there are a lot of times when people don't want to approach it, or they don't feel, they don't know what can and can't be done. I get calls in my office about somebody having a loud barking dog. And I say, you know, I'm a state legislator, I really don't deal with that, but I can make a call for you. And just for the heck of it, why did you call my office? Well, you're the only one that answers the phone. You were Mormon or Breeze's office, so the only ones that have a person answer the phone. And I can respect that, because it drives me nuts. When you call your bank, you get shifted around, press 3 for this, and you never get an actual person to really push it to the limit. But I think there is that disconnect with government, and I'm very frustrated myself oftentimes in Harrisburg. You get one answer today, and then when you go down into the meat of the issue and you're in Harrisburg, it's not until you're face to face with somebody that you really get an honest to God answer. And you've got to keep their feet to the fire to get whatever you're asking for implemented. So I'm working on that. I'm working with Flo, as I said, to bring light to a lot of the issues. But a number of them that we've been working on just on the local level is Presque Isle, the beach sand funding. I'm not going to knock English, but 2 years ago when I was a freshman in March, we got the call that the federal government wasn't going to meet their match on the money that was allotted for the sand. I've always been a lover of the beach. I've been there water skiing, fishing as a kid myself, and now trying to introduce my family to those things. But I went to bat for that. Started off with Gary Leslie and didn't know where to go on it, but ended up with DCNR, and ended up with 2 girls in Erie, coming up to Erie on a snowy day before Holy Week. Took them out in the middle of a snowstorm and took pictures of water coming over the front of the car and showing them the impact that this erosion has, and explaining how the different seasons are and how it's imperative that we had it up and running for the good weather, and that's the catalyst or the engine that drives our economy in the summertime. 2 2 days later, I got a call saying that the money was on its way. I think the visual effect had a way of persuading them to, do what we had to do. But in the long run, it made me see that even though we had a member on the Appropriations Committee, and he had been there for a while, when it comes down to decisions being made in Washington, they could care less a lot of times, as well as Harrisburg, that we're even here, do we exist. Some of my friends in the legislature came to me and said, we're part of Cleveland and Buffalo. But it's not until you bring them up here and you let them see what we have and the things we have to offer and how we need to keep growing and better